Hello,
Hello, family.
welcome.
How is everyone doing? It's been a long time, as usual. I find myself saying that every time we come live. I'm like, it's been a long time. We're going to try to come live a little bit more often, but it never works out that way.
Why? Because of the time difference and because I like to sleep in the morning
Yes, this is true. So, for those of you who don't know, we are in Thailand, and the difference is what, 12 hours
with East Coast.
compared, yes,
Yeah,
to the East Coast time. So, yeah, it's 9 a.m. here, and we're having coffee. How is everyone doing, by the way? And I'm not sure if the last time we went live, it was,
Christmas.
yes, it was Christmas, right? So, it wasn't New Year. So, Happy New Year's to everyone. And thank you guys for joining, and we'll just kind of wait for more people to come on in, and let us know where you're from. If you're first time viewing our vlogs, our live vlogs, let us know in the comment if it's your first time.
And let us
And
know if you can hear us and see us well. There are
yes,
no interruptions.
yes, because we did have a little bit of technical issues. I have a kind of a new laptop, and a lot of my apps wasn't working, so I had to do a little bit of configuration before this live started. So Tanisha is here. Hi,
Hi,
Chi, family in the
family.
building. Mike, what's good?
Mike, oh, you were actually at the beginning of the live.
Yes, yes,
Welcome.
he normally comes in towards the very end.
Kim,
Kim, welcome,
welcome.
welcome.
Thank you for joining
Yes,
us.
love seeing friendly faces, of course. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Colorado, how are you?
Wow,
Nice of you to
welcome.
join.
And yes, this is still us, even though it doesn't say just be out. We are living the globe and we are getting into it in just a little bit. We
Yes.
have a few topics on today's agenda, and we recently changed the channel name.
Yeah, a lot of you guys are reaching out on social media, be like, hey,
What's going on?
what's going on? Where's the Just Be Out? You guys change your name? And we're like, yeah, what's going on with that? So I had to address a few people kind of one by one in the beginning. And I said, you know what? We need to go live and we need to address this, especially, to our subscribers, our loyal viewers who watch us all the time, and kind of let them know that way it's not a shocking thing. And the change actually, believe it or not, on the back end, it's a little bit more difficult than I would think right out the bat, because we decided to change the name, and we'll get into that, the reason why. But we had to go and change the social media names. We had to find out if the name is available on YouTube, but is it also available on Instagram, and is it also available on Twitter,
Facebook.
and Facebook, and TikTok. So we had to go through a few names, but luckily this one we feel fits very well for kind of what
Us.
it is we're doing. Yes. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Thank you for joining.
Welcome. Some
Yes.
people are watching us from YouTube and some people are watching us from Facebook.
Yes,
Welcome
yes, we
all.
have both platforms in here with us today. So let's kind of get into it. Again, for those of you who saw that we did the change, we did it gradually. So once we found out that we can obtain the name on YouTube first, then we went into like kind of like the emails to find out if it was available. Also the website, because now we have to change our website. And if you look at our justbeout.net website, that's still there. That has to be changed over to Living the Globe. So there's still some changes that need to be made as we kind of move forward. But for the most part, we have the social medias kind of covered, and also, YouTube. So I guess let's get into it. Hey, Elena from Australia, down under.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. All right. They said our sound sounds good and our video looks good.
Okay,
Beautiful,
great.
fantastic. All right, without further ado, we won't keep you guys waiting. We have a lot to cover, a few interesting things we think you guys should know about. So we're going to kind of talk about, well, why did we change the name? You want to start on that?
Sure. So, while living here in Thailand and every place we go, we try to stay for a more extended period of time. And of course, we've been here in Thailand for a while. And
What's a while?
probably I would say right now would be going on month number 8.
Yeah, 8 to 9 months we've been here.
Yeah, and while we're staying here, we're going to other countries in Southeast Asia, so we're still traveling while we're kind of a home base in here. And a lot of people are asking, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? How's healthcare? And we actually recently, this year, we started more taking care of our health, and a lot of people are asking us, well, how's healthcare in Thailand? Why don't you make a video about that? How's your experience? Well, I'm like, we can't really make a video about that because we are about travel.
Travel.
So our
Yeah.
channel is just more information about travel. So that wouldn't fit. And then we decided that since we are more of a lifestyle abroad, so we would like to share with you what it's like to rent an apartment abroad. If you are an American and you want to go to another country, what do you even start with? How? What are the requirements? For America, you need to have credit history. You need to have a job, pay stubs.
Mhm.
Make sure your income is enough. How good do you go with the apartment rental in Thailand?
So it's kind of a hybrid between being a traveler where you go to a country and you might stay maybe for 2 weeks or so, a week or so, and a hybrid between that and someone who's like maybe you want to call them maybe an expat or someone who moves to a country and want to say, hey, okay, I get 30 days upon entering this country and I might want to extend it because I work remotely. So it's a combination of two, and we decided to kind of merge it together and kind of play the middle, if you will, where we can give you information as far as what is it like living in a particular country, and also kind of getting to know the ins and outs as far as the culture and going deeper on a deeper level.
Right, this way it's more of a journey, it's more of a lifestyle, also along with all the travel information that we give you, because living abroad is so different from living in America. Or I used to live in Russia, obviously, so uh, America was a culture shock to me when I came there.
Yeah.
So
And there's a lot of challenges that come with living
definitely.
abroad that you're used to from your home country. There's things that you're used to that you can get at the snap of a finger. Well, when you're living abroad, it's never that easy, and you have to source it, and sometimes you have to travel a distance to even get it, if they even have it. So yeah, it's a little challenging at times. Hello, Vegas, thank you for joining. James,
Oh,
so
our
good to see you
entire crew
guys.
is
Yes, the
here.
crew is here all at once. This is
We just
amazing.
missing Chris
Yes.
and Marta.
And Chris said he would be joining, so I guess he's going to be popping in soon. You guys will see when he comes in, and we're going to get to Chris. Even Deborah's here. Wow, so awesome to see you guys. It's giving me goosebumps. Yeah, so we're going to talk about
surprise.
yeah, we're going to be getting into Chris in a little while because there's actually a tie between us and Chris as well, and we're going to get into that a little later on. So yeah, so we decided to change the name, and we were figuring out, well, what name best fits what it is that we're doing. As far as Just Be Out, that was the first name we came out with, and it was
because we were out.
yeah, we were literally just up and out, and it's kind of like, well, don't think about doing it. If you're thinking about traveling, you're probably overthinking it. Just get up and travel, and that was the frame of thought behind Just Be Out. And it takes a while for that message to be conveyed. Not only that, when you meet people and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are YouTubers, what's your channel? I'd like to check it out. We're like, Just Be Out, and they're like,
Just what?
just what? So they don't really, it doesn't flow to them for them to just say, okay, I got that, or okay, I'll remember it, I'll subscribe to you guys later, or what have you. So it was a little bit challenging for that. So we'd always have to take screenshots on their phone of what our channel looks like, and then they would check it out later. So yeah, we decided, well, what name really fits what it is that we're doing, and then we kind of back and forth, and we came up with Living the Globe.
Mike says James going to have to order new merch.
Yeah, I haven't put out new merch yet. That's gonna take a while, but yes, that's going to happen. We'll let you guys know when we did that. And again, thank you guys for all the support. For you guys who supported us from from Hawaii and earlier than that, because we have people who actually follow us, and they're like, I met you guys on the, well, we call it the COVID cruise, when we traveled from Alaska to Bora Bora, and we were on a cruise stuck with COVID. And yeah, we met people there, and from to this time, people are still following us, and they keep tabs on us, making sure we're okay. So that's really nice.
James says, wow, just thinking that the old stuff is vintage.
Vintage, yeah, exactly, James. It is gonna be vintage.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I Vegas said, I sent a super chat, 604p. Let me see. The email said it went through. I've been having issues with regular chats. Is it chat within the live stream or within
Super
the
chat.
videos?
Or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
What's
sure.
6:04 p though? I'm not understanding.
Is that the time that it was sent?
Oh, PM.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let us know. Hey Franco, how are you?
But
Thank you for
thank you,
joining.
Vegas.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're always
Major
supporting
support.
us.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much.
Yes, so I mean, if you guys like the name and based on what we're talking about or why is it we changed the name? Take that one moment to just give this video a like. That would help and go a long way.
Mhm. And also, what topics would you like us to cover when living abroad? What are you interested in? Many people were asking us, how do you do laundry?
Yeah.
Well, here, living in Thailand, actually, one of the reasons why I like living in Thailand is because they have condo style living with amenities. So the condos, most of the condos, at least the ones we choose to stay in, have pool. This one actually has three pools, has a gym,
Yoga studio,
even kids
playground,
playground, the office, the guards outside.
24-hour guard.
And our condo also has a washing machine, which is a really big plus for us.
There's a lot I did not know about Thailand until I came here, experienced it for myself. And you know me, like I'm very inquisitive and I see things and I'm like, wow, why is this that way? And then I start talking to people and then I, figure it out. And I'm like mind blown. And Thailand is a really nice place to live. We notice a lot of people come here to retire. And that's another funny story, but we'll get into that later, the retirement. We have a funny story about that. So yeah, all in all, living here in Thailand for the period of time that we have been here has been really great. So that is the reason why we changed our name, guys. So we hope eventually it comes around and it flows off the tongue a little bit easier and you guys get to see the name. Also, we chose to put our face because it's a little bit more personal. So it's no longer the logo. So I don't think we're going to be putting our face on a t-shirt, but we'll probably come up with something. Mike says old merch will be showing up on eBay as soon as it's a collector's item. Yeah, right. It'd be like, what happened to that? So I have one and I have had that one since the moment they were first printed. And it was white. It's now kind of beige in color because I've had it so long. I'm not going to get rid of it. It's going to be vintage. That's for sure. Franklin says, I think the new name sits better. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Moving along.
We're going into the next topic, and the question remains: what kind of topics you would like us to cover while living abroad? What you are interested in, not just for Thailand specifically, but generally.
Yes,
because will be moving soon, and
Vegas has a problem.
Why,
I'm sorry, Vegas has a question. She's saying, kind of, we should cover something about sending mail and packages. That is so funny that you said that, Vegas.
Coming soon.
That's coming soon. We have just purchased a few things. So since we've been traveling, again, because we travel so light and we can't have a lot of things with us, like literally a spoon can push us overweight on the luggage department. So many times we've traveled, we've wanted to purchase things and kind of carry it along with us, even for other people, family at home, and then we wanted to send it to them. But that's always been an issue, right? We're in places where it's like, we don't even know where to go to send packages, even if we wanted to. But being here in Thailand for so long, we were able to go to different countries from Thailand, and we bought things and brought it back because this Thailand would be considered our home base. And we decided, you know what, we haven't sent anything to family since we've been traveling. So kind of let's do that. So we went shopping, we purchased things for family, and we're going to be sending it to them. And that is a process. And yes, we will be covering that. So it's very funny that you mentioned that. That video is going to be coming soon. Mike says, why didn't you use your names for your channel? Then you can post whatever you like. That is true. So, a lot of travel influencers and creators, they just use their first and their last names. I'm sure you know a lot of them or follow a lot of them. But
I think number one, my name gets misspelled all the time.
Irina, my name, for them to pronounce it, because here in Thailand, have them try to say the name Devon. I get it all. And I get some that I've never thought. I'm like, excuse me? Because some of them, sometimes I get Devon, sometimes I get Devon or Devin. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yes. Yeah, I'm Devin. That's fine. But here in Thailand, they butcher my name. So I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, excuse me, what did you say? I'm like, no, that's not the name. And then I have to try to correct them. But I understand, it's the language. So we did come across that idea. Why don't we just make it Irene and Devon, like everyone else is doing? But at the same time, we wanted it to be so when you read the title, when you read the name of the channel, you know what you're getting before you even get into it. So if it was Devon and Irina, and you might see a thumbnail that might seem interesting to you, and you click on it, and then you realize, oh, I don't really like this content. At least the name gives you a little bit of insight. You know that we're traveling, but we're also it's like kind of long-term living. So you know what you're going to get. So when you see certain titles of the videos and thumbnails, and you look at the name of the channel, you get the association between the two. And it kind of gives you more of an insight of what you can expect when you do click on that video. So that was the thought process behind that.
And also, we don't have a home base, so for us it makes sense that we are living the globe. We just living everywhere in the world, so for us it just makes sense.
Vegas asks, will you put items from different countries on your website?
What kind of items?
Yeah, Vegas, what type of items? Is it items for sale, or what exactly do you mean by that? Sorry, I'm not getting it. Deborah said it's the same. It's the same when people try to pronounce Deborah. It's so simple in the US, yeah. But when you're dealing with people with heavy accents and English is not their first language, it becomes very difficult and funny at times. Okay, so let's get into the next one. As you see, the title says, "Getting Kicked Out of Thailand." Literally, we're getting kicked out of Thailand. So you want to explain the situation?
Right. So when we first came to Thailand, with American passports, you can come into Thailand visa free, and they just stamp your passport at the border. And while you're here, for 30 days, while you're here, you can extend your stay for an extra 30 days for 1900 baht, which is about $50 or so.
Right.
And that gives you 60 days of stay. But because we are traveling, sometimes we extend, sometimes we just go in and out. And the last time we went to Vietnam, coming back to Thailand, they stopped us at the border.
But
first time ever.
Yes. Before we even get to the juicy part of the story, let me give you a little bit of backtrack. So as Irina just mentioned, 30 days when you come into Thailand, no problem. If you want to extend, you just have to pay for it, and you can extend to now 60 days. But you have to leave the country after that point. You cannot stay. So what most people do is what's called a visa run. So technically, you have Thailand, you have Cambodia, you have Laos, you have Vietnam. They're bordering countries. So what people do, if you're right, Malaysia, if you're not familiar with visa run, what you would do is just before your 60 days is up, you would leave Thailand, go across the border, whether by bus, train, or plane, stay there for 24 hours, and you're allowed to come right back into Thailand. And
some don't even stay 24 hours.
Right.
Some just go back and forth.
Right. So different countries have different rules, but for Thailand, it's pretty much open season that way. So you can come right back across the border. They will give you another free 30 days, and then you can pay for another 30 days. So that means you get another 2 months, and you just keep doing that. That's what we thought it was all about.
Right. And at least all the videos that I was watching for people doing visa runs, and they were explaining how they would just go to another country and come back. But what we did not realize is that stamp on arrival is only allowed 2 or 3 times a year. And obviously, us going in and out of the country, going to
Cambodia,
different parts of
Vietnam,
Southeast Asia, obviously we went in and out way more. And the last time we were coming back to Thailand, they
from
pulled
Vietnam.
us over at the immigration, that was the first time
Yes.
I got pulled over, and I was like,
What's
oh
going on?
no, what's going
And
on?
it's funny because we had two guys behind us online waiting to go through immigration, and uh, I think the person ahead of us, they got pulled over, and the guys behind us were talking. They were like, "Why would anyone get pulled over in immigration? That's so like kind of weird. I wonder if they broke the rule or something." Then here we go. We're next. We get pulled over. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?"
Yeah, and every time we go in and out, so there's a process. You have to be registered here when you come in. So every time I make sure we don't overstay, we follow all the rules. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are we getting pulled over? And luckily, we already had booked a flight out of Thailand to go to Singapore for our anniversary, and we got pulled over and we showed the flight. We're like, no, we're not doing the visa run, we are actually traveling, because most people who do visa run, they just go for 1 day or even less and then come back to Thailand. But when we are going out, we are going for 5 days, 3
A week,
days,
2 weeks, yeah.
right?
And
So
there's actually a pamphlet they put in front of you, and the title of the pamphlet says "Visa Run." So it's a thing, and they're totally aware that people leave the country for 24 hours and come right back in just to kind of stay in the country.
hmm And so just because we had that return flight out of Thailand, they allowed us to have that stamp one more time and let us back in the country. And mind you, we were traveling with just a backpack to Vietnam, so this way it would be light. And we have all our stuff, all our computers here in Thailand. So if they didn't let us back in the country, we would have left everything, all our belongings
That would have been bad
here, right?
And they could have literally said, "I'm sorry, we can't let you back in the country because you've been in and out too many times."
So what they told us we had to do is to, if we want to come back next time to Thailand, is to go out of the country, go to a consulate, apply for an actual visa to put in your passport, and then we would be able to come back to the country. But the problem with the visa is that it takes from 5 to 10 business days, and you have to wait in another country,
and it's not guaranteed neither,
right,
that you'll get the visa. So just because you apply for it don't mean you'll get it. So yeah, that was kind of crazy.
So we decided not to risk the visa situation. We had to cancel the flights to Singapore, and we just needed a little bit more time to organize ourselves and get into the next destination. And so we decided to extend our visa for another 30 days. So we're here till mid-March, and which brings us to total of Thailand stay to about 9 months. Yeah. And next destination, where's next?
Yeah. So where will we be going next? And that ties us into what I said about Chris. So if you guys don't know, Chris lives in Hawaii, but he's originally from the Philippines. He has family in the Philippines. He has long blood in the Philippines, and he went there with his wife just a few months ago. They went there and they did a lot of family things. And he reached out to us just about maybe 2 months ago, a month ago. He's like, "Hey, we're actually going back to the Philippines. Are you guys going to be near there, or you want to meet up or whatever?" And we were like, "Man, the time you're actually going, we will probably still be here."
Yeah, we were supposed to go somewhere else.
Right.
We already had plans.
We had plans, so we were locked into our plans. But when we came back from Vietnam and this visa situation happened, that changed everything, because technically we have to leave the country within the next month or so. So we right away, we were like, well, oh damn, where are we gonna go? So we stood a couple days trying to figure out, well, where are we gonna go next? We talked about Kuala Lumpur. We talked about Laos. We talked about different places that we can possibly go to and just kind of do 30 days, maybe 2 months or what have you. And I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, Chris said he's going to be in the Philippines on this month. And we're like, let's reach out to him and see what he says. And then we kind of reached out to him. We had a conversation. And it just so happens now that our travel, not dates, I won't say plans because it was never a plan, but our travel dates actually aligned. So we'll be in the Philippines with Chris. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, and Martha. So that's gonna be really, really, really cool. And we're gonna be doing some cool things in the Philippines. And we're probably gonna be in Philippines for a while too.
Yeah, because Philippines allow you to stay for a long term, and it's very easy to extend visa in the Philippines, and
Yes.
that's why it's a really good place for also for expats.
Hmm.
And again, we will be, as we were, if we're basing ourselves in the Philippines, we can still travel to Southeast Asia because it is still relatively affordable and close.
Yes. Okay,
And
let's
it's
get back
beautiful in the
into.
Philippines.
Oh yes, it's beautiful in the Philippines.
We have a few comments.
And I heard they're very rich in culture as well. Very nice people. So we're going to be able to witness that firsthand. Vegas says items for sale from country you may be in for a month or two. So I guess what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong. So if we see certain things, we'll be able to put it on the website for sale from that country. Is that what you're saying? So kind of have a page where people can order things that we've seen at the countries. Let me know if that's what you mean.
So far, we're not really planning to sell anything besides
The merch,
yeah,
if
the
we happen to do the
t-shirts.
t-shirts. Yeah, I'll design some t-shirts and we'll kind of put those out there and see how they do. Again, it's about the support, and again, we thank you guys so much.
Oh, Tina and Eric here. Hi.
Hey.
E-Dog E.
Uh-huh. Okay, Franco says, how do you manage your finances while traveling full time? I break the bank in 15 days every time I travel abroad. Okay, so we understand, like when you travel, Franco, it's a vacation, right? So when you go on vacation, you've worked pretty much the whole year or what have you for that vacation. So when you go on that vacation, you technically have a budget and hey, I'm splurging. I worked hard for this. I'm splurging. When you travel full time, it's a totally different ball game because yes, you do have to manage your finances, and it's not the same mentality. It's not the same mindset where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna, blow money here, blow because I know I have a budget and I'm gonna max that budget out. You know what I mean? And I come back and I just kind of reset and start all over again. But yeah, when you're traveling full time, it is different.
But also, what you need to know about Southeast Asia, it is so affordable. I mean, it's hard to blow budget here.
And I'm sure you've heard that before. I mean, there's so many channels that talk about just how affordable it is to eat, how affordable it is, to have a roof over your head. The accommodations are like cheap for what you get.
And because the reason also why we've been here in Thailand as a home base is because the rent, at least in the condo, rent obviously can vary in Thailand depending on can I put this?
Mhm.
Depending on what condo you live in, even what area you stay in, it can vary. But our rent is so just mind-blowingly affordable.
Yes.
Like I can't believe the amount of money we pay.
And we're going to be put together a video on that. We'll show you what our place looks like. We'll give you all the ins and outs and answer all these questions. And when you hear these things, you'll be like, there's no way. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we here, we can afford to go to other places because it's so much more affordable. If you're in the States and you're paying, some families, depending on on the West Coast, pay $5,000 for rent for a house. So obviously, when they go on vacation for 2 weeks, they not only they need to still cover their rent, but also pay for the vacation. So it's different, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess to answer your question, Franco, in shorts, when you're just on a vacation, you splurge and you do what you have to do. But when you're a full-time traveler, you manage your finances the same way you do when you're at home. That's how you manage your finances when you're traveling. If you want to travel to the next country, okay, I'm going to look for, the most affordable price, just like you would at home and you were traveling for vacation.
How much do you willing to spend for rent for a month?
Exactly.
And if it's daily budget that comes out to it, just roughly know. That's it.
Okay. Vegas says yes, and then you ship it. Okay, so the issue with that is like we never really wanted to get into any type of shipping situation because whenever you do shipping, then you got to deal with customer service. And, some people are not forgiving if you ship them something and it's not what they expected for some reason, or some people are just very difficult. You just can't please them with things that you do. So that's another business that we would have to handle. So we decided not to go that route. The reason we were able to design the t-shirts, the Just Be Out t-shirts, is because that company, they do everything for you. So you basically hand them the artwork, you plaster it on all the different items they have, whether it's a mug or a baby shirt or, t-shirts or hoodies or sweatpants, whatever it is they offer. And you just put it on your own little personal website, and they give it to you, and they take care of everything. If you have an issue with the shirt, if it faded after maybe 2-3 uses, you're like, hey, this was not good quality, they have a customer support that's going to handle all that. So we basically wash our hands after giving in the artwork. But of course, before we did that, they would send us a t-shirt and show us what the quality was, and we kind of put it through the ringer and be like, let's see how these t-shirts wash, because of course sometimes you have t-shirts and they shrink on you. So hopefully anyone who have purchased any one of the Just Be Out t-shirts, you are satisfied with the quality and and the product overall, and your experience was good. Because if you didn't, I'm sure you would have probably voiced that, and then we would have addressed it with the company and say, hey, people are trying to purchase our t-shirts, but they're saying it shrinks after the first wash, or the ink is bleeding off of it when I wash it and it fades after 2 washes, or whatever the situation is. So we kind of made sure we did as much as the quality testing as we possibly could up front. And then in the back end, they would take care of anything. And if any situation was arise, they would handle it accordingly. So yeah, we didn't want to get into any type of, one-on-one business with that. So I hope that addresses that. Um, when you're from New York, Jane says, when you're from New York, everywhere is cheaper. That is exactly true, because I tell people that all the time. People are like, oh my gosh, like, how are you spending for rent and how you doing this? And I'm like, well, when you're from New York, you already have expectations of what's high. So anything beneath that is a plus.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of expensive places like Switzerland,
Well,
for
yeah, of
example.
course, it's probably even more
Deborah
expensive.
say except LA.
Yes,
San
LA.
Francisco, our
Hmm.
friends live in San Francisco and their rent is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, well, the bar for us is set high because, again, coming from New York,
Mhm.
a lot of things are expensive. So anything below that is actually a win. But regardless, it's still managing, the finances.
James says the last time you were in Vancouver, $3,000 per month for one bedroom apartment. The thing with this is when you travel and the daily rent is usually a little bit more expensive. So when you try to get a lease, so then you can save.
Right. And a lot of people, when we were living in Hawaii, everyone has this thing about Hawaii. Hawaii is beautiful, but Hawaii is expensive.
Mhm.
And my response to that 99.9% of the time is like, okay, well, first of all, where are you coming from? Because if you're coming from LA, if you're coming from Miami, if you're coming from New York or Chicago, one of these places, we know what the rent is there. So if you're saying it's expensive, then you're probably coming maybe from the Midwest or some smaller area where rent you could get, a 2 bedroom, for maybe a little over 1,000, if 1,000. But when you come from these major cities, Hawaii aligns right with that. If you're living in Hawaii, so if you could make it in New York and Miami and in LA and all these places, and you live comfortably, you can live comfortably in Hawaii. The only issue is, well, work, right? How do you sustain that living? And a lot of people, they move to Hawaii thinking, okay, well, I know what I'm paying here, and I know I could get maybe the same thing, maybe less. The difference is with Hawaii, you get more space, right?
Yeah,
So if you
yeah.
if you like maybe $1,600, $2,100 for rent, your
Okay, so
space.
you don't know what you're
Okay.
talking about
Uh-huh.
because you and numbers don't go together. Uh, so basically, in Hawaii, again, if you're coming to vacation for two people, you can expect to pay anywhere from $5,000 till $10,000, depending on your
Right.
preferences for vacation. When you live in Hawaii, the rent becomes way cheaper, obviously. So we had one bedroom condo, um, 550 square
Square
foot.
foot. Hmm.
So it's a decent size. It was newly renovated and all utilities included. We paid $2,250.
Hmm.
So 2250, and that was in Waikiki. And I think we personally had a pretty good deal because the condo had 24-hour security. We did have a parking garage space,
Hmm.
the
Laundry.
pool. Yeah, we had the laundry there, the gym, and we had pretty good view and
Right. It was a good location.
location was good. The building was in a good maintenance. But when we went to go for apartment search, they were some apartments that they wanted $2,000 for were in a really bad shape. And again,
Hmm.
depending on the area you stay in Hawaii, that can also vary. Maybe if you want a house or if you want a condo, apartment, it really depends.
Hmm.
So when you live and get a lease for a long good term for a year at least, and it was furnished, by the way,
Hmm.
so you do get to save a lot.
Okay. James said, those t-shirts are wonderful. Survived many trips to Waikiki and Alani and still look new. That's good to know, actually,
Thank you.
because I don't think we ever got feedback from what the quality was like for those t-shirts. Again, we owned much more. We had a lot in storage in New York, but we only brought a few with us. And yes, it has, kept up and has survived. Yolanda's here.
Ooh,
Gee.
welcome,
Like
Yolanda.
literally, we only have like 18 people in this chat, and well, not 19, but everyone who is here is literally our crew is here. Like that's crazy, and I've never seen everyone join at the same time.
Together.
Yeah, normally James will pop in like 30 seconds before we close out or something like that. So really, really cool.
And Yolanda, I was thinking about you too earlier today.
One person is still MIA, and that's Chris. So I don't know what Chris is doing. I should reach out to him and be like, "Hey, the whole crew is here. Like, where are you?" Yeah. So the Philippines is next.
Right. So the Philippines will be next, and again, we will be making content as far as how to get an apartment in Philippines and all their general living stuff that we are going through and have to figure out. We'll be also sharing with you as a story on how to live abroad.
Yeah. So basically, that's what the challenge is going to be about. You're going to get a lot of insights now on just kind of day-to-day living and things that again can be what we take for granted. Back in your home country, it's like when you travel abroad, those things are just not there, and it does make a significant difference. In your day-to-day. So we're going to be highlighting these things, so you're going to get a lot more insight with the videos. I'm not sure if I had mentioned it, but we had a hard drive with vlogs that we have shot, and it was over probably 4 months, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's about 4 months of footage that we have captured while here in Thailand, because we started north of Thailand. We did Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai. We did those places. We did North Vietnam. Some of those videos we put out, but we lost so much content. 4 months of content has been lost because the hard drive that we were storing all our data on just decided one day, I'm just not going to work, and the computer couldn't read it. We actually went to Bangkok, to a specific place that
specializes in data recovery. And that was supposed to be the best place in the country.
Best place. And I know you said supposedly their track record is literally like 99% they recover data.
Yeah.
And that's written on the website and everything else. And they have a lab where everyone is wearing, it looks like a freaking, I don't know, like a virus control area, but they take the data seriously that people try to recover. So I'm thinking, wow, if their data rate is recovery is 99%, like we should get something back. And we left the hard drive with them, and then they shot us an email. They said, hey, this is much tougher than we thought for this particular case, and we don't know, you know, we
And
just
that
can't.
that was gonna cost us $600 to recover if they
If
can.
they can. So basically, you pay based on what they recovered. So that was the amount guesstimated that we would have to pay, because it was a
Mhm.
5 terabyte hard drive and it was filled with just vlogs everywhere in Thailand and stuff. Long story short, they weren't able to recover anything,
Yeah.
anything. And I was just like, how is it even possible? And you might think, oh, maybe you were kind of, you know, careless with the hard drive, having it bounced around. No, the hard drive was literally attached to the back of my laptop, Velcro. And that's kind of how we edit. We always have our hard drive secure all the time. So it never even really moves around. And, you know, we're normally stationary at times, when, especially when we're editing. So that wasn't the case. The hard drive just decided to fail. And these things happen. It's happened to us before. And luckily, we got most of the people that we worked with and collaborated with, we were able to give them their project before that happened, because everything was on that hard drive. So we're so bummed. And because we filmed so many cool things in North Thailand, like, wow. Like, what I'm trying to do right now is get us to go back within the month and change we have left to some of these places, so we can kind of recapture it for you guys, because some of it is just so unbelievable. So we're gonna see what we're able to do in the time period we are here before we move on. Yeah. Yeah, it's always a bummer when you lose footage, but it's also kind of my fault, because there was really no reason for us to have 4 months of footage backlog. I wasn't editing fast enough, but then also a lot of times when we go places, we're focused on capturing it. So we will go and we'll do something, we capture it. The next day we're going somewhere else, we're capturing it. The next couple of days we're going somewhere else, and we just, you know, everything just starts compiling. Before you know it, you know, a couple of weeks, and here we are 4 months in on footage. So yes, unfortunately, but we are going to get some back, because we're going to go to some of these places again, and they're definitely worth going back to. So on to the next thing that we wanted to discuss, next and last thing actually, and that is,
We this year we switched to a plant-based diet. Um, this year I think it's different for us. We really focusing on health, and yeah, we're trying out the plant-based. We decided to, hey, let's just see how it goes. Let's try, and so far we really love
it's
it.
been good. Well, first of all, how many of you guys in here are actually either vegan or plant-based or
Vegetarian.
vegetarians or anything of that nature? I think then, you know, the conversation would be much easier. But again, this all started at the very beginning of January of this year. And my sister sent me a video. She's like, hey, you should check this movie out. And I'm like, okay. And it was on Netflix. And the movie is called You Are What You Eat. So I watched it early in the morning. Of course, Irene was sleeping. And I found it very interesting. It's a very good documentary. If you get a chance to watch it, it's worth watching, because it talks about our foods and how it's processed.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, and how, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, because I'm not here to preach or try to push anything on anyone, but it's just really sad how, and specifically speaking in the US, how food
Industry.
is the food industry, and how food is being, from the plant to when it comes to the table, and it's just not a good situation. So I watched it and I was like, wow, this is interesting. So then I told Irina when she woke up, I said, hey, my sister showed me this video, let's watch it tonight, and, you know, tell me what you think about it. So she watched it and she's like, whoa, I didn't even know that it was really this deep. So at the end of the day, I just want to tell you, when you watch a documentary, it's about profit over people. So it's just about people making money off of
Mhm.
people who are eventually going to get sick. And you know, as we get older, you know, we talk about, you know, getting type 2 diabetes and getting all these different sickness, and it's become so normalized that we feel like, oh, I'm getting old. Yeah, I'm probably going to get type 2 diabetes because, you know, my uncle had it, or my aunt had it, or my mom or my dad had it, whatever it is, and we think, oh,
It's normal.
yeah, it's normal, it's hereditary, they had it, I'm going to get it, it runs in the blood, it runs in the family. It's not. It's about what you consume throughout your lifetime. And it just gave me a whole new perspective on looking at things.
Mhm.
And we spoke about it, and we're like, Irina's like, you want to try going plant-based or vegetarian or vegan? Because in all honesty, we're very new at this and we don't know the real difference between all of them to the full extent.
Yeah, for example, we just recently learned that vegans don't eat honey.
Right.
And we love honey. And
Yeah.
what?
So technically we can't call ourselves vegan, but it's just I had to learn. So we decided, yes, let's give this a try. So I think it was maybe around January 3rd of this year, we decided, all right, let's move forward with this. And we're actually in a very good place to make this transition because we live about 8-minute walk from a farmer's market that's pretty much open all day, all night. And they have the freshest vegetables. Like when you get eggs here, like there's literally poop on the eggshell. What does that tell you? You might look at that and be like, ew. But think about that for a second. It's not like, they polish it and do all different types. It just came out the chicken's butt. Like it can't get any fresher than that. And it's funny because we noticed the first time we bought eggs from the farmer's market, well, when they sell it to you, they actually sell it in like a plastic bag of 10. And they tell you, oh, we have fresh eggs. So it's very rare that someone says, oh yeah, the fresh eggs are located over there, or we have fresh eggs. You just say eggs, right? They put the word fresh in front of it because they understand that it is fresh.
Yeah.
It literally is.
Or sometimes, oh, the eggs are very fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So plant-based is what we're doing now, and it's been great. Now let's talk about the challenges. So for me, I love to cook, and I only knew how to cook chicken and fish and meats, but I had to relearn and reinvent how to cook. We had to go to the supermarket. We started buying all these things that are plant-based and vegetarian, and different types of sauces that didn't contain this and didn't contain that. Now we're in the supermarket and we're reading the back of the labels and say, oh, wait a minute, oh no, this can't be because it has this. So it's much more like scrutiny on what you're eating, but it's a journey. So I'm on YouTube and I subscribe to a whole bunch of vegetarian and learning how to cook tofu. So now tofu is our substitution. Yeah, tofu is our go-to. Yeah, that's a good one. And mushrooms. So we love mushrooms. Here in Thailand, we have accessibility to at least 6 different types of mushroom. And that might not sound like a lot, but think about it. When you go to a supermarket and you go in the vegetable aisle, how many mushroom types do you actually see? Portobello, you might get what is it called? The button, the little ones that come like maybe like 10 in a little carton.
They're baby bellas.
Baby bellas, right. So you get literally 2 options if you're lucky, 2 to 3 options. Here we get about 6 to 7. So I've learned how to cook and make the meals tasteful without having to eat meat. And we were just like, how is this possible? Like I literally can make a chicken burger that's not chicken and it will taste like chicken. It'll have the texture when you use the right mushroom. And we've just been like, wow, this is like so eye-opening. And again, not trying to preach or anything, but it's just amazing when you don't know something and you get put onto it, it opens a whole new world. And at the end of the day, it's healthy. So no one can't say, oh, well, why are you doing that? Don't make no sense. And argue, well, we all know what processed meat is and all that. And we all know it's not good for you. And we all know what the end result is. And there's no denying it. But eating, as clean as you possibly can. Now, even though we are saying that, just for the record, we're not like 100% all in. And by me saying that is because we do understand, well, we're traveling. And there's going to be times where you're going to travel to a place and the only thing you could find is chicken or beef. And what are we going to do? We're not going to not eat because, oh, no, we don't eat animals and we're totally against it and we boycott it. It's not like that. We eat what we need to eat, and it's a need, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll consume it. But at the end of the day, if we could prevent it, when we went to Vietnam just recently, we were just like, oh, wow, like we just started this plant-based thing. How are we going to survive in Vietnam? Like, what are we going to eat? Well, there's pho. And there's also which is soup.
Pho is a lot of times chicken or beef.
Right. So we would kind of maybe look for vegetarian options. But what we found out in Vietnam is that there are a lot of places that have it's a vegetarian restaurant. We were just like, whoa, who knew? Yeah. And vegan. Irina sourced so many. And it just so happened that the Airbnb we were staying in right downstairs is an ice cream parlor, and they had vegan ice cream, and it was amazing. Pina colada vegan ice cream. So again, there are a lot of options, but you have to invest in yourself and invest in reinventing yourself and train your mind to switch and say, hey, there's another world out there that I can eat healthy, and I don't really have to eat meats, and I can get everything that I need, what I've been told I need out of meat, I could get it elsewhere. So yeah, that's where we're at with it.
Woohoo!
Vegas. Wah, 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 wah. Thank you
Vegas,
so
as
much. Thank you.
usual.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We so appreciate it.
Yeah, so appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. Plant-based, yes. Oh,
Hmm.
Vegas is vegetarian.
He's vegetarian.
Awesome,
Yes, that's so
awesome.
cool. Um, Danielle says that documentary was eye-opening. I couldn't believe it. So I'm assuming you saw it. Yes, absolutely. So again, if you guys want to check it out, it's called "You Are What You Eat,"
Yeah.
and just take a look at what it is
So
you're consuming.
moving forward, you will see a lot more vegetarian and vegan eating on our vlogs, and we actually had so many questions asking us about vegan restaurants as we were traveling and reviewing different restaurants, and we're like, no, we're not vegan. So before we could, I would never go to a vegan restaurant, and because I didn't even know it could taste as good as it does. And I'm like, why would I go to a vegan restaurant if I can just go to a regular restaurant? It's probably going to taste even better
Correct.
than vegan. But once we tried, I'm like, wow, I had no idea that vegan food tastes as good as it does.
Right. James said you'll have to make a few cooking vlogs on interesting meals you have created. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that because now when we go shopping, we're just bringing back vegetables and mushrooms
And tofu.
and tofu. Literally go buy like, 8, 10 tofu and bring it back because we eat so much of it. And again, it's creating, you're taking something that's bland as tofu, but you're seasoning it and you're preparing it differently every time, so it's different flavors, different textures. And what we didn't know is that tofu comes in about 6 different there's 6 different types of tofu. So you could get tofu that's so soft, it's kind of like a pudding or like a flan, so it has that little bouncy texture to it, and you use that for soups, you use it for dessert, so that would be your substitution. And then it goes up to extra firm, which is like if you want to use it and cook it, maybe deep batter it and cook it like chicken. So it'll have that firm texture, that bite that you would get when biting into a chicken. And there's about maybe 5 other styles in between that, medium firm, different things. So again, the more you know, right? Um, let's see. Mike says, do you feel worse after eating meat now? Well, we haven't eaten meat.
In about a month and a half.
Right. So we were going to a night market, which is right down from us. Every evening they open at 5, and you could get every meat there. You could get pork, you could get beef, you could get pig. I mean, you get everything, chicken, everything, and that's what we were
Even a
consuming.
crocodile.
Yeah, if you want crocodile, you can get that too. So we were not really eating too much meat, and I noticed. I don't know if you've seen our vlogs in Hawaii. For my birthday and different things, I would order like a tomahawk steak, and it was crazy the amount of meat I was eating. And then I realized over time, my body was not digesting the steak as it was when I was younger. And I'm like, every time I eat steak now, it feels like it's like sitting like, like right in this area here, and it's not really digesting. And I'm like, that's weird because I never really felt like that before. But of course, as you get older, your metabolism changes and you just can't break the food down as fast as what you did when you were much younger. So I noticed that different, and I kind of literally stopped eating steak. Right, I wasn't eating steak at all, and just for that reason.
Yeah, but we were eating chicken pretty much every day.
Yes, chicken we were definitely eating every day, and then we just decide, well, that's one thing we have to give up. It's not like
Yeah,
we
the
eat.
only thing pretty
Yeah,
much we have to give
exactly.
up because we don't really we haven't been eating dairy for a long time, so chicken was the only thing pretty much left. Well, of course, if you are buying, like, let's say bread, and bread is made with maybe eggs, milk, and I don't know, yeast or whatever it is, then we're not going to look into those ingredients too much. But generally, if like a plate has a piece of chicken, we will not eat it. If a coffee has regular cow milk, I will not drink it. For most of the parts, we're plant-based and vegetarian. And for me, after watching that documentary and seeing how much salmonella and cross-contamination goes on in packaged meats that are being sold in the supermarket as fresh, I'm like,
it's crazy.
no.
I'll pass.
And I do see the difference in my digestion when I'm not eating chicken anymore.
Vegas says, I think there's another show. It's called Plants or Knives, was on Netflix also. Yeah, Plants Over Knives. Yeah, I think that was there's a lot of videos like that on Netflix. Mike says Irene and Devon are still about 10 names changes behind Chris and Martha. Facts. Facts. When we told Chris and Martha that we're now like kind of plant-based, Martha was like, "Oh, good for you guys." Chris was like, yeah, no. When you guys go to Philippines, he's like he's like, there's like so many good food in Philippines that you have to try. So he's trying to get us to go the opposite way. Horrible.
Chris
Let's see.
and Martha. They join us.
Yeah.
Tofu steak topped with mushrooms and gravy sounds pretty okay.
We're gonna get Chris to eat vegetarian, which Martha, I think he said was vegetarian. Used to be. And then Chris kind of turned that table. Jasmine said, where are you right now? We are currently in Thailand, and we've been here for a while, but they're kicking us out. Just have to watch the recap of the video. I know you're joining a little late. Let's see what else we have here. She said, Lord, crocodiles. Yeah, it's funny how crocodile is a thing here, right? But not only here, even in Vietnam. In Vietnam.
I didn't see crocodile. Oh, I mean, yeah, they ate it because we were on the boat. Yeah, but we just never had it.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea.
Probably tastes like chicken, like everything else.
I think from what I heard, it tastes firmer than chicken.
I'm sure the texture is different. Yeah, that's usually what's different when you eat other meats.
Oh yeah, Leland. We actually were just thinking.
You said that just yesterday. Yeah. I think it is. Like, I wonder where Leland is. We haven't heard anything from him in a while. And normally he would reach out to us on Facebook and say, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Or we would see kind of posts from him.
Yeah, Chris, have you heard anything about Leland?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything. Yolanda says it takes 3 days for meat to digest out of our system.
Oh,
yeah. So we heard. Yeah, it does take it takes a while. I'm not sure if it's 3 days, but from what I heard, it's a while. And we also went through this time period where we don't eat late.
Oh yeah.
So at between 5 and 6 p.m., that's when we're having dinner, and we do that because by the time we eat 2 meals, right? We'll have like a late breakfast, and then we'll have an early dinner. We're trying to have 1 meal a day. So supposedly that's kind of, the way to go. But that's a little bit difficult. So one step at a time.
Yeah, I'm starving already. I don't think I can go for 1 meal.
Yeah. I mean, but if you wake up late, it's already past breakfast time. So you just got to get past lunch. No? All right, I guess not. Let's see. James says, Chris, your plans to go to the Philippine worth all those calls to the Thai immigration. So that's what it is. Now we know. The truth has come out. Wow, incredible, right? Yes, this right here, the lechon, or damn, that's going to be very difficult for me.
Well, I will give it a try. I will give it one bite.
No, you had it.
I know,
but you're gonna eat it. You're gonna try it again. Okay.
I will try the Filipino version of that.
Oh my gosh! So that's where it kind of originated from, Chris. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But if it didn't originate there, they make it supposedly the best. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically Chris could check me on this as well. They put some type of, it's like taking the pig skin, and maybe it's about maybe that thick, and they lay it out, and then they put some type of like filler on top of the skin, and then this is raw, and then they roll it like you would roll a blanket, and then they tie it, and then it gets deep fried. So the pork belly, I guess, is super, super, super crispy, and then it has all the filling on the inside. So you're eating it kind of like as a sliced roll. Oh man! So we had an event. Chris had an event at his house in Hawaii, and we went there, and he had this woman in Hawaii that supposedly makes it, and he ordered it from her, and that's the first time I ever had it, and it was bomb. I haven't forgotten it since. So he's like, when you go to Philippines, it's gonna be a problem for you, and I'm like, hey, listen, I didn't tell you, I'm not 100% nothing. Okay, I keep a balance, but for the most part, I try to do my best. But when we go there, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Vegas says mushroom coffee by Stigmata. Is that how you say it?
It's good.
It's good. So we've been seeing a lot of
Mushroom
advertising
coffee
for
ads,
mushroom coffee in our Instagram feed. What is it called? You remember?
Rise.
Yeah,
but
one
there
is called
also
Rise.
Another brand.
Yeah, there's also another brand that comes up and they're saying basically what they do is they've packaged all these mushrooms that has been dried and grounded, and you're supposed to put like a couple, I guess, spoons in your coffee, or is that it?
No, it's a coffee substitution, or it has a little bit of coffee.
And mostly different types of mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never tried it. I know there was a package for $30, and they didn't have any simpler packages that you wanted to buy. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I don't want to spend $30 for a package, and I ended up not liking it.
Yeah,
but
because some people in the comments of the ad that we saw on Instagram, they were like, "Oh, this thing tastes disgusting. Oh, how does this doesn't probably even work," or it was like a mixed bag of things. So we weren't too sure. We did kind of look it up, but we all know mushrooms are good for you. So I don't see how it could be bad. But then again, we don't know what's in it. So again.
Woohoo! Thank you, Chris and Martha.
Thank you. Save it for the lechon. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna have to do it up for sure. Let's see what else. So Chris says Leland is going around the world for the Navy. Well, we all know he was in the military. But
so does it mean he's offline? Is that
yeah, because he's actually because he's in the Navy, he deals with submarines, so he's like on the ground, he's like MIA. No one knows where he is.
Yeah. Well, we miss this guy.
Yeah, for sure. Mike says, I heard Taylor Swift is racing back to the US in order to join this live chat. Actually, yes, that is true. But we're waiting for her to arrive. So we'll just kind of chill out. We'll give her maybe another 5 minutes to see if she shows up. So yes, this Taylor Swift things has been a lot of things. Oh, and of course, it's Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow for you, Monday for us. Yeah. Right. So let me know in the comments, do we have football fans in here, and what team are you going to be rooting for?
This guy wakes up at 3:30 in the morning.
I will be up. Well, the Super Bowl doesn't start at like 1 in the afternoon in the States. So
1 a.m.
Super Bowl
so
starts.
You're not going to sleep, my friend.
No. What I'm saying is that the Super Bowl doesn't start like your typical football game at 1 p.m. Or 4 p.m. Those are the two starting times. It actually starts in the evening. Okay. So it's actually going to start maybe 6 or 7 o'clock. I'm not sure what time the Super Bowl starts, but it's in the evening. So that means when I'm waking up at 6 in the morning, that's when it's about to start. So it's prime time for me here in the morning, with that. So if we have any football fans in here, drop a comment on who you're looking to see win. And also, are you guys excited about Usher? He's doing the halftime show. Your boy Usher, he's a cool dude. I'm looking forward to that. And also, I guess so. Yes, so it's the 49ers and the Chiefs. I'm kind of rooting for the Chiefs. I like Mahomes, so yeah, that's what it's about there as far as the Super Bowl. But the Super Bowl commercials, though, I know. Oh, what they did say is because Taylor Swift is going to be at the Super Bowl. And we're not making this has nothing, it's not political or anything like that. But what they did say, because Taylor Swift will be at the Super Bowl, I think they said 33% more women will be watching the Super Bowl. How interesting is that?
Yeah, I don't care. I still wouldn't be watching it.
You watch it for the commercials. So when she's the opposite,
Oh,
like I watch it on the
the
games and
halftime
at the
show.
halftime show. That's when she'll pop in. She'll be like, "Oh, Usher," like dancing around. Yeah. So, yep. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Like I said, I was in Oahu last month for the first
Oh,
time in years. Oh wow, and was surprised by how much sugar things had. I couldn't even eat some things. So, Franco, originally, where are you from? Just so I get an idea. I'm assuming you'd probably be from maybe Europe or Australia.
mhm.
But yes, sugar is a thing in the US, and I've heard this a lot. And I've witnessed it in the fact of just a few things. So, for example, ketchup. American ketchup is way sweeter than ketchup in other countries because they add more sugar, because the sugar is what gets you.
Addicted.
Yep.
And actually, in Thailand, they love sugar here as well. By default, if you order any type of what is it, the smoothies, coffee, they add sugar. i
Yep.
i order iced coffee, and I have to tell them not to put any syrup because they don't even ask you
Yeah.
if you want it sweet or not. They add syrup by default, and I tasted them like, oh no, it has sugar,
Yeah.
and I have to ask them to remake it.
So, Franco, let us know where you're from just so we can kind of get an idea of,
Mhm.
like, I guess, how they do things there. Yolanda says, with the time zone, does your body react on when you feel it's time to eat? For me, personally speaking,
Mhm.
no. Like we're clockwork with that. Anywhere we go, even if it's a different time zone, we're kind of like,
Yeah,
you know,
morning is morning.
morning is morning and evening is evening. We know, like we already have it in mind. Come 5, 6 o'clock, we're gonna be having
Yeah.
dinner. Now, it's not all the time like that. Sometimes it gets pushed between 7 and 8.
Because it also depends on countries' traditions. For example, we were having pretty much hard times in Portugal because their tradition is to eat later.
Mm-hmm.
Their dinner starts at 7, and not only that, we're starving at that time already, but it's also very late because the van goes to sleep early, and I don't like to eat late because I'm not fully digested. And yeah, depending on where we are, sometimes we struggle.
Yeah. So Franco said he's from Argentina, the land of meat, the land of meat. Actually, while we were for the New Year's, we went to one of the islands in Thailand, and we met an
Yeah.
Argentinian in Phuket. We met a
And
couple,
they are vegetarians.
and they're vegetarians. Yeah, how crazy is that? Yolanda says sugar's about everything in the U.S. Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much, pretty much. Yeah, Vegas says it's too much. I don't buy sugar. Well, yeah, I mean there are a lot of ways you can get by adding sweetness to your food without it technically being sugar, because sugar is it's refined, it's been processed,
Mhm.
so it's not the best sweetener. And a lot of times they use the term sugar free. Well, that's even worse because you know they put all types of things in there to sweeten it, and it's not good. It's actually made to kind of hook you. And these companies know that. They spend billions of dollars on these things, so they know what it is that once you put it in your mouth, you're gonna crave it, you know, and you're gonna want more of it, and you just get
Yeah.
hooked to it.
And actually, when we switched to plant-based diet, I noticed that I my sugar cravings definitely cut.
Hmm.
Sometimes, when this time of the month, I do crave some sugary things, but for the most part, I definitely crave way less sugar.
Yeah, and recently, just actually a few days ago. So as Irina mentioned before, we're trying to in 2024, moving forward, we're trying to be a little bit more health conscious and a little bit more conscious of what we're putting into our bodies and stuff. So what we did was we took a test and we did a complete blood work.
It was like an annual checkup.
Yes,
Mhm.
and in all honesty, I have not had an annual checkup since I was probably in high school or college.
Me too. Mhm.
That was the last time I had an annual checkup. And now that I'm in my 50s, that is not a good thing. not a good thing at all. So when we did go to do the checkup and we were waiting for the results, I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, man, like it's been so long since I had a checkup. Like so many things could possibly be wrong with me, and I would have never known until I took this action. And we all know you're supposed to have yearly checkups. Like that's just the thing, right? And we waited for the results, and our results came back. Irene was good. They took our heart rate, they took blood for all different types of things, EKG, right? And everything was fine for Irina. For me, even when I was living in Hawaii, I had high blood pressure. So when I went to the doctors, funny thing is that my blood pressure was
183.
183. So if you know anything about blood pressure, that's really high because the norm should be.
Oh, I don't know the
I think the
norm.
norm, if anyone knows, drop it in the comment. I think the norm for a normal blood pressure rate is like 108, 112, something like that. I'm at 185. So I have high blood pressure. I've always had high blood pressure. Even when I was in Hawaii, they were actually giving me medication to bring to control the my blood pressure. And I only knew this because when I was in Hawaii, I went to get glasses. And when I went to get glasses, they check your blood pressure for some reason. And when they checked my blood pressure, they were like, whoa, like your blood pressure is really high. We can't let you go. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, because that's not like you literally you on the border of like, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So they took my blood pressure a couple more times because they say sometimes you have white coat syndrome. And basically what that is when you're in a doctor's office, you get nervous. It's just like a natural thing. And it kind of raises your blood pressure. But they knew it wasn't that because it was really high. So after a while, they did let me go. And they said, you need to go to the doctors and get your blood really checked. And they gave me medication. I was taking it for a little while, but then I stopped. And I haven't taken it since I've left Hawaii. And going into this new blood testing thing that we were doing just a few days ago, I was thinking, man, well, now I'm eating healthier. So maybe things are better. And my whole diet has changed since I left Hawaii. So maybe things are better. Well, it turned out they're the same. They're not worse, but they're the same. And it's still high. 183 is very high. So when the doctor kind of gave me the overall thing on my blood and everything else, he's like, everything else is fine. Your cholesterol is a little bit higher than what it should be. But if you told me that you are now on a plant-based diet, let's check this up within 3 months. Because if you're telling me you're on plant-based, all this should change because that means your cholesterol will go low. Your cholesterol ties in with your blood pressure. So if your cholesterol goes normal, your blood pressure should drop. Let's check this in 3 months. If in 3 months your blood pressure is still the same, then we have to put you on medication. So that's kind of where I'm at with my health. And in a way, I was really relieved because not checking on my health for so long, like I said, so many things could have went sideways and I would have never known. So, get your blood checked, get everything checked, do your annual check.
Yeah, and we will be making more videos on healthcare and beauty procedures here in Thailand because not only it is very different, it is also very affordable, and we just want you to know and be aware. Maybe you can afford to do some things back in the US, and maybe you would travel and maybe get some things done here in Thailand.
Yeah.
Just to keep your mind open and to keep you informed. And it's an interesting journey.
Yeah. So a couple people kind of chimed in and said it should be 120 over 180. Everyone's kind of agreeing with that. Right, exactly. So that's where technically it should be. Chris said he's also a high blood pressure and cholesterol club. So I guess
that's your lechon.
You see. Mike says static squats are supposed to help with blood pressure.
What is that?
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's when you're kind of standing in and just
down.
squat.
Okay, for exercise. I'm like,
yeah.
What is that? It's something you eat.
Yeah. Yolanda said, Devon, you're lucky you didn't have a stroke. Yes, they have mentioned that. So it needs to be monitored. And we do have to get that down. And I am being obviously more conscious about it now.
Or
Excuse me.
It's funny when we had the visa situation. and we went to this visa place to ask, like, oh, so what can we do to either extend our visa or how we can legally stay in Thailand a little bit longer. And and they were telling us the visa options, and they're like, oh, well, how old are you? You can do student visa. And we're like, oh, so can we
Yeah,
do
they
a
asked her.
student visa for the
Listen, she's telling the story all backwards.
Okay, you say.
When we went to see the different options we have on staying in Thailand, they asked her, how old are you? She told them. They were like, oh, you can get a student visa at that age, right? And she was like, oh, we didn't know that. And they told us what the cost was and everything. And he was like, well, what about my husband? And I told them my age, and they were like, well, you can't get a student visa. That won't work.
No,
Cannot.
they say cannot.
Yeah, cannot.
In Thailand, instead of you cannot have to or you cannot do it, they just say cannot.
It's just a cannot, and it's so funny. And they were like, you have to get a retirement visa. And we all just burst out laughing. I'm like, retirement visa? They're like, yeah, anyone over 50, that's what you have to get. You have to apply for a retirement visa. And I was just like, wow, I'm literally there now. So yeah.
And since
I'll
we
retire
are
in Thailand.
married, I'm eligible for a retirement visa as well.
How crazy is that, right? Wow. We all got to be there sometime. Philippines has a retirement visa for 50 plus as well. Oh wow. Yeah, the laws in the Philippines for visa is way very lenient as opposed to other countries, which is cool. So we'll probably be in Philippines for a while. Might be interesting. We'll see how things work out.
We do miss Bali, and we want to pop into Bali for a little bit.
Yes. So our plan is we want to go back to the Maldives. We want to go to Bali.
Yeah, we do want to make it to Japan.
Oh, that right now, Japan is like on the top of our bucket list. Like, and even like places in like China, Irene is like, damn, we're so close. We're just so close. And we're like, yeah, but we're not ready to go to Japan as yet. Just because there's a lot of things involved. And when we do go to Japan, we want to stay there for as long as possible. And from what the research we've gathered,
Japan has new visa. I guess it is a new visa where you can stay up to 6 months.
So if we do go to Japan, we'll probably stay there for 6 months. And by the time we get there, we'll probably maybe figure out ways where we can actually apply for a different type of visa. Because through TikTok, we learned that there's some other type of visa that they're offering or something where you could stay longer. So we really want to do Japan, like really do Japan, like not like a week or two or a few days. We want to be there for a few months if possible.
Yeah, but
it's amazing.
The problem I have with Japan is the living situation. As I mentioned
before,
I love condo style living, and that's why it's a little uncomfortable for me in Bali, is because they mostly either do rooms or villas, and I prefer to have a condo with all the amenities included. Like, I like going to the gym at 9 p.m. That's my perfect time to go to the gym, and I go to the gym pretty much 5 to 6 times a week. And I don't like going on a motorbike or getting a taxi and then go to the gym somewhere, and especially at night.
And that's how it is at Bali.
Yeah, you have to go out to go to the gym, so it's a little uncomfortable for me. And when I was looking on what are the living options in Japan, the apartments, amazing apartments that you see on TikTok, where they have a little device for everything. That's not how it is in all your regular everyday Japanese life. Most of the apartments are super basic, super tiny, and
paper thin walls.
Yeah.
Like literally, you can hear a conversation someone's having clearly, word for word. And this is what we've heard from other people who've lived in Japan. So there's a lot of things that's different, when we do go there. And we've seen videos, especially Mike just mentioned just now that the countryside of Japan is gorgeous. And yes, you're absolutely right. And that's a part of what we want to do. We literally want to it's not just about Osaka and all these places, these big cities. It's about the countrysides that are just pristine and quiet, and it's just an experience. These places, when you do rent an Airbnb or you rent a hotel or something, you're gonna get a square box and you're gonna get a mattress
on the
that's maybe
floor.
3 inches thick on the floor.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
For her, that's an issue.
yeah.
For me, because of the experience, I'm like, it's all right. I'll sleep on the floor on the
Yeah,
mattress.
I'm going to say like people in Thailand say no like.
No, like, cannot,
Cannot.
cannot. So that's our joke now. Whenever we don't like something or whatever, if it can't be done, we just say cannot. Yeah. So yeah, Chris did mention that the condos are very small, but they're affordable. So if you don't mind doing that and being that way for a while in that type of situation, I think it's a fair compromise. I just have to get this one to.
I'm
It's
not
okay.
ready to
We
compromise
we don't
yet.
we
That's
don't we don't
why.
need a gym. You know, we don't need a pool. They do have what is it called again? What's it called?
Onsen.
Onsen.
Yeah, where
So
you have to be naked in front of other people. Cannot.
yeah, that's gonna be funny when it does get to that part because I do want to experience an onsen, but I've never been in a place where I have to be nude and just walking into a pool area or a small tub with a bunch of other naked men. It's gonna be different for me, and we're gonna see how I manage that one. So yeah, but yet looking forward to a lot of beautiful things in Japan. So that's definitely on top of our bucket list. So yeah, I guess that's it. We covered everything we needed to. And I am so thrilled that everyone, again, who is our core base, has been here. We've been fluctuating between 13 to 20 viewers, and every single one of you have been with us since like day one. Y'all like our ride or die team. Like, I don't care if no one else show up. It's like I had the core has been here that's been with us the whole time and been showing
And
us
it's
support
so
and love.
cool because it's like having a get together with all your
Your
friends,
friends,
all the
yeah.
familiar faces, all the people you know and love, and just hang out and chat. And
Mhm.
this is what we do here, and it's been amazing. And thank you so much for joining. And
Yes.
I do feel bad that we don't do it as
As
often
often.
as we could have been, again, because it's the time difference.
The time difference, but also, in all honesty, if we're going to come live and we're going to be discussing things with you, for us, it's very challenging because if we don't have a topic, it's hard for us to just sit here, in front of the camera and talk to you about, oh yeah, it was a sunny day here in Thailand. How's the weather where you are? And it's just kind of just shooting the breeze for us.
Mhm.
We want to give you some type of value. We want to give you some type of story or something
Mhm.
so that we can engage and we can talk. But to just come on live and just shoot the breeze about any or everything, or have to sit here and wait for you to comment when there is also a delay, to us, it's kind of like, okay, well, what are we talking about next? And it just becomes dead air. We don't want that. We want it to be, full with value as much as we can possibly give.
Yeah. Oh, Vegas has an interesting question about public restrooms in Thailand. I was actually blown away. For the most part, the public restrooms are amazing here in Thailand, way better than US. Of course, there are, like, for example, a train station where the restroom is I don't know how you would call it. It's just like a two like hole, but it's kind of like made a toilet hole.
So it's just a hole. Yeah, you just squat.
Yeah, there are two pads where you put your feet and a hole. And
that's how it is in Japan in a lot of places, believe it or
I
not.
didn't know that.
Mm.
And they don't even have the flushing system. They have a what is it? Not a ladle, but a little
Bucket or something?
container. Yeah, a little container with a handle, and they have a huge bucket of water where you scoop, and that's how you flush the public toilet. But for the most part, in restaurants, in malls,
Spotless.
the bathrooms
Spotless.
are like a 4-star
Hotel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, when you go to a mall in the US, it stinks, it's dirty, it's wet,
Mhm.
it's nasty. Even though the mall could be a high-end mall, the
Mhm.
restrooms are disgusting.
Yeah.
Here I was shocked.
Yeah, some of them you walk into it and it's like literally like you walking into a 5-star hotel restroom. It has flowers and
It
it's
has
well lit.
scents.
Yeah, they have scents in it. It's just crazy.
Yeah, they have even like the soap that they use smells
It
so
smells
nice,
really
like a
good.
high-end hotel restroom.
Hmm. Uh, let's see. Chris says we'll always be out if you guys are live with the globe.
Oh, thank you.
Mike says you had about 300 subs when I found your channel.
Ooh.
Whoa, that's
Thank
crazy.
you, Mike.
That's crazy. Thank you. Thank you. Talk about being us with us from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yep. James says, great to see everyone. Truthfully, YouTube made COVID lockdown tolerable. That's
Oh,
so cool. And you brought Honolulu to me when I could not get there. As always, enjoy your live vlogs. Thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Greatly
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yep. Mike says, next live topic, buying matching outfits.
Ah. By the way, did you see our matching outfits when we went in Phuket? We went shopping for matching outfits there
Oh
too.
yeah, if Mike, did you see that that vlog when we were there? We went into a store. What is the store called again? They had it in Bali also. Anyway, we went into a store that they have kind of throughout Asia, I guess, and we bought matching, like I think it was bathing suits or something like that. Yeah, so we're always looking out for the matching outfits. That never failed. And before Hawaii, that was never a thing. Hawaii changed all that. So yeah, for sure. Uh, James says, "Thank you for doing what you do." Thank you so much,
Thank you
James.
for your support.
Yes,
Really
yes,
appreciate all of you
yeah. James says, "Yes. Why are you not wearing them now?"
guys.
In the next vlog. Yeah, in the next vlog. So yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you guys so much for showing us all the support, all the love, and it's been a great ride. And hopefully now, as I said, because we're switching things up, hopefully James, it'll be like another who knows couple thousand subscribers in, and things will all be great. But again, you guys are our core, and you've been here with us from the very beginning, and we do appreciate you. And we just kind of want you to know that. And when we do go live again, best believe it's going to be something of context, right? And thank you guys for joining. I know it's already 10:30 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we will see you guys in the next one. Can't say when we're gonna go live again. Maybe when there's another big change. Well, technically, we supposed to go live every 10,000, no?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
Oh, Vegas says
Celebrating.
almost 40K.
Yeah. So every 10,000K we are celebrating with the live.
10,000K?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Every 10,000K. Wow. For a second, I just
Wait,
thought at
10,000K?
10K.
No, no, no.
10K.
Every 10K, yes.
Yes.
10,000. Every 10K we're celebrating live. We're doing the champagne toast and dinner or breakfast, whatever it is, and we are celebrating it with you. We're celebrating you. So yeah, in
Where are we at right now as far as I know? She said it's almost
it has to be probably
oops.
in the next month.
Yeah,
Oh
so we're
no,
at
no, we are
38.
still
Yeah, we're at 38.2K. So
probably a couple of months.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in a month or so. So we're gonna hit 40K soon, and you'll probably see us then. We'll come on and we'll celebrate it with you guys. Because again, the subscription is about you guys. It's not really about us. So we kind of all celebrate it together. And yeah, that's what it's all about. So again, if you guys are interested in following us, if you're just coming and joining us in this video, it's Living the Globe, and you can check us on Instagram. The name is the same. TikTok, the name is the same. Facebook, the name is the same. So yeah, that's what we're going by right now. So Mike says Devon still owes me a water jump at 10K. Yeah, that's true. So I guess when I go back to Hawaii, that's when that's gonna
Wait,
happen.
no, Philippines. Well, water. Actually, Devon been doing a lot of water jumping, and he jumps like a boss now.
So you can expect that jump. So watch for it. You can hold me to that one now. So yes, guys, thank you again so much for joining. We love you guys. Thank you so much for coming in, even though it was kind of like less than 24 hours, and you guys all showed up, and we really do appreciate that, and we appreciate you. We appreciate all the support you guys have given us throughout this YouTube journey. And now you're a part of change, right? Like we're changing things up, and you guys are still here. So that does mean a lot to us.
Lots of love.
Yes, lots of love to
Our
you
one
guys.
year wedding anniversary is coming soon. Devon's birthday coming soon.
Oh,
So
maybe we'll come in
yeah,
live for
this month
those.
we have a lot of celebrations coming up. Well, thank you so much for joining. It's been an hour and a half. It's been a pleasure and so much fun chatting with you. We love
Yes,
you
we love you
all,
guys.
and we'll see you soon.
Yes. Mwah. See you
Bye.
guys in the next one. Thank you for joining.